Oh, संपृक्तौ वागर्तः प्रतिपत्तेः जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बोफलसारभक्षितं मारुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्. Today, Namaskara. Hello, Namaskara. In the Prashna Shastra, so far we have discussed some points, some basics we already discussed, and today we will discuss about Santana Prashna or Santati Prashna. This Prashna or this topic is also very important because in Hindu system, Santati is very important. Aputro gatirnasti. So that is why they take it as very serious that Santati is important. You are aware that how Dashrata got his sons with after remedial measures, all those things. Similarly, there are many instances for getting the Santana by performing some remedial measures. Likewise, people are worried about Santana. If it is not there, they will not get moksha. That is the thing. That is why this topic is very important, and the people will approach the astrologer when they do not get any children's in appropriate time. That is why they will approach the astrologer to know whether there is any chances of getting children and what are the remedies to be done. All these things they will inquire. So let us understand some of the combinations or planetary positions which gives the progeny or Santana Labha, which do not give any issues, children. That also you have to understand, and you have to find out some remedies also. So under this, you have to understand some basics we already understood, that to find out Kshetra Sputa, Bija Sputa, Santana Titi, Yamakantaka Sputa, all these things you have to understand. So I will go one by one. First of all, let us see what is the problem, if there is any problem for getting the children or Santana. In this case, the charts of both husband and wife are to be analyzed. Mainly in Prashna Shastra, Lagna signifies matters pertaining to the husband, and Arudha Lagna reveals everything about the wife. This is the view of Prashna Sangraha. In case of female, if both the lords of Arudha, after erecting the chart, you find out the Arudha, from the Arudha, the female, and also ninth from it or combust, that is lords of Arudha Lagna, and ninth from it or combust. There is something wrong in the womb. That is what we call Kshetra of the wife. That indicates there will not be any issues. That is because of the defects in the womb, there will not be any issues. That is the indication. In case of male, if both the lords of the Lagna and the fifth from it are in combustion, there is some problem in the bija of the husband, in which case of course, with some remedial measures, it is worship of Vishnu and Brahma, can get some issues, or you can get child. This is the indication. Here, one special thing what you have to note is the Arudha Lagna and 9th from it, lords of Arudha Lagna and 9th from it in case of female, and Lagna, Prashna Lagna, Udaya Lagna and 5th from it are important. Both should not be, the lords of both should not be combust. If they are combust, the chances of getting issues or child is remote. Now I will explain you how to calculate the Kshetra Sputa and Bija Sputa. Here the resultant Rashi and Navamsha of the sum of the longitudes of Mars, Moon and Jupiter in case of Kshetra Sputa indicates Rashi Navamsha. If it falls in even signs aspected or related with the benefic planets, it indicates that the Kshetra is fertile for getting children. That is good for getting children. There is no problem. The sum of Moon, longitude of Moon, Mars, Jupiter. You have to find out. Then find out the resultant Rashi and Navamsha. If it is even Navamsha, even sign, Rashi, then it indicates Kshetra is good. Coming to the Bija Sputa, calculate the Bija Sputa by adding longitudes of the Sun, Venus and Jupiter. If the resultant Rashi and Navamsha falls in odd signs and related with benefic planets, then it indicates Bija is strong enough to produce children. So I will work out the example for this and tell you how it works. So let us take the example. The example, longitude of Sun is 23 degree in Taurus, Jupiter 2 degree in Tula, Venus in Aries with 26 degrees. The details, that is sum of the longitudes of these three planets works out to 271 degrees. That is 23 in Taurus means 53, Venus in Aries 26, Jupiter in Tula means 182, 2 degrees means 182. Total becomes 271, for which the Bija Sputa works out to Makara Rashi and Makara Navamsha. In this case, both the Rashi and Navamsha works out to even Rashi, which indicates that the Bija is not strong enough. In case of Bija Sputa, we should have got odd sign and odd Navamsha. That indicates Bija is not enough to produce children. In the Navamsha Bija Sputa is with Jupiter, that is Tula 2 degree means Nischara Rashi, it comes to Scorpio. Navamsha, it comes to 2 degree. So Bija is not strong enough, but Jupiter is in debilitation, but not strong enough to influence. So another point to be noted here is aspect by Saturn. Even though medically the person was said to be good, the person did not get any issues. That is one example. That is the example for working out Bija Sputa. So I will tell you another example for Kshetra Sputa. Kshetra Sputa. In this example, for working out Kshetra Sputa, we need the planets Jupiter, Mars and some Moon. Some of these three longitudes we have to add and get the Rashi Navamsha. In this example, what I have taken, Jupiter is 83 degree, that is in Gemini, 23 degree 35 minutes. Mars is 239, that is Scorpio Rashi, and then 29 degree 49 minutes. Moon is in Kumbha Rashi, with 11 degree 43 minutes. The sum of these longitudes we get 625 degree 4 minutes. Deducting 360 will get 265 degree 4 minutes. For this we will get odd Rashi and even Navamsha. Rashi, odd Rashi and even Navamsha. That is Dhanu Rashi, then Scorpio, Navamsha will get. So that means again mixed. That is, this is the Kshetra Sputa. Kshetra Sputa means we should get both even. But Rashi is odd and Navamsha is even. Indicates mixed results, which we can say that native can get issues with some remedial measures. So this is how we have to find out using the Kshetra Sputa and Bija Sputa. Both Kshetra Sputa and Bija Sputa are afflicted. One can safely predict that the couple will have no children. Then again, it is to be noted that the female horoscope, the 9th house is the seat of children, while in the male horoscope, the 5th house governs the children. Of course, there are different views. Santana Deepika gives the following combinations for regarding children, birth of children. If the moon occupies 3rd, 6th, 10th and 11th from Arudha Lagna, and 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th from regular ascendant. That is one combination. Next combination, Arudha Lagna is feminine sign and Prashna Lagna is masculine sign. Then third point, Agni Bhuta rises in the ascendant. Then next point, this tree ruled by the constellation occupied by Jupiter, that is not yielding fruit at the time of inquiry. These are certain points which indicates the couple will get children, men will not get children. These are certain points as per the Santana Deepika. Yes. The various tattvas such as Agni, Bhuta, etc., which have already been explained. So that also we have to verify. Then, if Jupiter, the Lord of Lagna and Lord of 5th and 7th are all weak, the questioner will have no children. This is one point. See, these points which I am telling you are the points, combinations which will not give any children. That is issue-less combinations. Then, if malefics are in the 5th, and the Lord of 5th house is hemmed in between malefics and is devoid of benefic aspect, then it also indicates childlessness. According to another version, the Lord of 5th is to be debilitated. Nicha samsthite. Sthandali irbeku. Then the 9th from Arudha Lagna and 5th from Ascendant are the houses of issues. If malefics occupy the 5th from Ascendant, the Moon and Jupiter, and they are not aspected benefics, this forms Anapatya Yoga. That is also indicates no issues. If a sign owned by Mercury or Saturn happens to be 5th house and it is aspected by or associated with Saturn and Gulika, one will have to go in for adoption. That means one will have no issues, one has to go for adoption. That is the indication. Native will have no natural issues, but we have to adopt one if strong benefic planet occupies 5th house without the aspect of Lord of the 5th house. If Pisces and Capricorn happen to be 5th house and occupied by Jupiter, the native suffers from sorrow due to loss of children. If Cancer happening to be the 5th occupied by Jupiter, that is for Virgo Lagna. Cancer happen to be, that is Pisces Lagna. He will have a number of female children. That is the statement or sayings of the sages. The next point is, if the debilitated Lord of 5th occupies the 8th, it should be an inimical sign, devoid of aspects of benefits, and the Lord of the 8th is in 5th, there will be loss of children. Jupiter is hemmed in, if Jupiter is hemmed between malefics and the 5th Lord and is weak without being aspected or associated with benefics, there will be loss of children. This above are affliction of 5th Lord Jupiter are considered for loss of children. And then according to the expert astrologers, there will be loss of children if the Lord of 5th is debilitated. Normally we will consider 5th as the Santana Bhava. That is why if the Lord of the 5th house is debilitated, or if he occupies inimical place, or is combust, or associated with lords of 6, 8, 12, or if the Lord of the 5th occupying the 5th is unaspected by benefics, then also there will not be any issues. Another point, this can be analyzed like this also. Issues will not be born if ascendant is in Surya Hora, Sun Hora. Breath passes through the right nostril and Aruda and Lagna are in earth signs. Then another combination, the ascendant is in Chandra Hora, breath passes through the right side, the moon, Lagna and Aruda are in Taurus, Leo, Virgo, Scorpio. There will be no issues. Ascendant is in Sun Hora, the moon, Lagna, Aruda occupy Taurus, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio. These are Agnibhuta Rashis, and Agnibhuta rises in the ascendant. No issues will be born. According to some, the presence of Agnibhuta is necessary for all the above yogas to cause the result attributed to them. And of course, according to some others, the presence of Agnibhuta alone constitutes is separate yoga and denies the birth of children. Then these are the conditions or the combinations which gives rise to no issues or loss of children. Then we will know the combinations which give Santana Labha. The native will have children if Lord of the 5th is strong and is in association with or aspected by the Lord of the ascendant, and the 5th house is free from affliction. Then there will be birth of children if Mars occupies the 5th house, which must be Aries, Leo, Scorpio, Pisces. Must have the benefic aspect of Jupiter. Then if the 5th house is hemmed between and aspected by benefics or conjoined with Lord of 5th, birth of children occurs. The strong Lord of 5th occupies any house other than 6, 8, 12 and has the aspect of conjunction of benefic planet. Birth of children can be expected. If strong Lord of the 5th occupies the ascendant, 5th or 7th is without any aspect or conjunction of malefics, there will be birth of issues. Strong Jupiter, if strong Jupiter occupies the ascendant or the 5th or 7th house and is unaspected by malefics, children will be born. If the Lord of the 5th endowed with strength, he is between benefics or aspected by benefics, birth of children is indicated. Of course, ancient preceptors aver that many children will be born if Venus, Jupiter, Mercury and the Lord of 5th join aspect the 5th house. The number of children depends upon the strength of the Lord of the 5th house. The learned say that many issues will be born if the Lord of the 5th is in exaltation occupies an odd Navamsha, is aspected by benefic planets, and fifth house is free from afflictions. Then again, another point is the Lord of the fifth, Sun, Mars, and Jupiter, they occupy odd signs and Navamsha. Large number of sons will be born. If the Lord of the fifth is strong, the Sun will be good natured. The Lord of the fifth, the Moon and Venus, join an even sign and even Navamsha, large number of daughters will be born. If Lagna happens to be the Moon's hora, and the breath of the astrologer flows through the left nostril, and if Lagna is in Sun's hora and breath flows through the right nostril, then there will be issues. That is the one version. Then again, can also consider other point. If the Lord of the fifth occupies the ascendant, the seventh or fifth house, or the Lord of the first and seventh join the fifth house, or the Lord of fifth or Jupiter joins the ascendant, there will be birth. Then the Lord of the ascendant and the fifth are in conjunction, or if they are aspect each other, or they interchange signs. This yoga also gives children to the native. The moon occupies Anupachaya rasis. Upachaya, Anupachaya. Here the moon occupies Anupachaya rashis other than Upachaya rashis from Aruda. Children will be born. If it is in reverse, no issues will be the result. The menstrual flow happens at a time when the moon aspected by Mars occupies Anupachaya rashis. The sexual union that takes place after this will cause impregnation. Otherwise, the sexual intercourse will be barren is the result. The time of fruitful sexual intercourse is the day when the moon aspected by Jupiter occupies Upachaya Rashi from the ascendant of the husband. The favorable time for impregnation are the Mula asterism and other muhurtas. And then Parva should be avoided. Then fertile periods for impregnations are given here in this para. The menstrual flow occurs when the moon receiving the aspect of Mars, that is occupies Anupachaya sthanas. Anupachaya sthanas are 2nd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th and 12th from the position of the radical moon of the wife's horoscope. When the sexual intercourse takes place, this conception will result in favorable course. If, on the contrary, the menstrual flow takes place when the moon aspected by Mars is in Upachaya places. Upachaya places are 3rd, 6th, 10th and 11th. From the radical moon of the wife, the sexual union will not result in conception. Sexual union, if done on a day when the moon aspected by Jupiter occupies the Upachaya sthanas from the radical moon, has been or in constellation of Mula, asterism declared to be good for the first feeding of the child, that is Muhurta, which you can select for impregnation of the wife. 8th lunar day, Vishishti, Riktatithi, Athira, Karmas, Shraddhas, etc. should be avoided. Then another point, important point, can note down is using the Yogasputa, or what is called as adding the ascendant, longitudes of ascendant and Yamakantaka. The longitudes of ascendant and Yamakantaka correctly worked out should be added together. This gives us the Yogasputa. The relative strength of the resulting Rashi and Navamsha should be noted, and the stronger of the two should be considered and that gives the result. For working out, say for example, for different days, this Yogasputa or the Yamakantaka, the rising of Yamakantaka will be as follows. Sunday, Yamakantaka rises after sunrise, that is 18 gatis. Monday, after 14 gatis of sunrise. Tuesday, it is 10 gatis after sunrise. And then 6 gatis after Thursday. Gatis, 2 gatis, 6 gatis, 2 gatis on Thursday, 26 gatis on Friday, and 22 gatis on Saturday. These are the timings of rising of Yamakantaka. I will repeat it again. That is 18 gatis Sunday, 14 gatis Monday, 10 gatis Tuesday, 6 gatis Wednesday, 2 gatis on Thursday, 26 gatis on Friday, 22 gatis on Saturday. That is after the sunrise at this time. That is, these are the timings of rising of Yamakantaka. If you work out the longitude of Yamakantaka for the respective day, that is required day, and or the Lagna Sputa and Yamakantaka Sputa, you will get this Yoga Sputa. I will also tell you the one example. Say for example, weekday is Saturday. The sunrise is 6 hours 15 minutes. That is Saturday. On that day, Yamakantaka rises at 22 gatis after sunrise. So that means 18 gatis, and that is for 22 gatis, you have to multiply by 24 minutes. If you multiply this 22 into 24, you will get 528 minutes. That is converted to hours and minutes. You will get 8 hours 48 minutes after sunrise. So sunrise plus this 8 hours 48 minutes, you will get 15 hours 3 minutes. That means the Lagna rising at 15 hours 3 minutes. LMT is the position of Yamakantaka on the day of the question. So for that day and that time, you work out the longitude. Say, let us assume that Lagna for that day is 143 degree 20 minutes and Yamakantaka be 136 degree 15 minutes. This Lagna plus Yamakantaka longitude, sum of these two longitudes, you will get 279 degree 35 minutes, or you can say Capricorn degree 35 minutes. Rashi, that is Capricorn Rashi and Pisces Navamsha. The stronger of the Capricorn and Pisces is Yogasputa. Should be, and these, out of these two, you have to consider whichever is stronger, you have to give the answer for the querist. Depending on these, stronger of the two, whether you will, which of the Rashi is favorable for it, you will get. Then this, and the next point is, if this Yoga Sutta happens to be the Urdhvamukha or Urdhvodaya or odd sign and conjoined with or aspected by benefic planets, the birth of child occurs at very early date. Urdhvamukha signs are also called as Urdhvodaya, and they are Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Aquarius. These signs are powerful during day. If, for example, Yogasputa happens to be Leo and benefics such as Jupiter, Venus, or well associated with Mercury, Jain, or aspected, then we can say, conclude that birth of child will occur at not too late date. Yogasputa falls on Ushtodaya or Adhomukha, and even Rashis conjoined with or aspected by malefics and neutral planets, no child will be born. However, Sputa falls on the male sign and male Navamsha, child will be born. Then the Yoga Sputa obtained by adding these longitudes of Yamakantaka and Arudha Lagna treated in the same way as above. Women born or can have children can be indicated. Then there are certain points under which circumstances one will get this. When Jupiter transits 5th, 7th, 9th or 11th from the Rashi or Navamsha Rashi, whichever is stronger, of the Yoga Sputa, that is what we worked out earlier, and transited Rashi is aspected or associated with benefics, there will be birth of an issue. If on the other hand, transited Rashi is afflicted by malefics, progeny will not bear any fruit. That means no children will be born. There will be birth of a child if the point arrived at by adding together the longitudes of ascendant, moon, Yamakantaka, Gulika falls in odd sign and odd Navamsha and Kendra or Trikona from Jupiter. And if Mercury, Saturn, Rahu or Ketu are not in Kendra or Trikona, then also can take as a positive sign for the birth of a child. Then, if sexual union takes place when Jupiter is in Rashi or Navamsha occupied by the Lord of 5th, Rashi and Navamsha occupied by the Lord of the 5th. The Sun is in Rashi and Navamsha occupied by the Lord of the Navamsha Lagna, and Moon is in Rashi and Navamsha occupied by the Lord of the Lagna. The Moon will conceive, woman will conceive and give birth to a child. Then, of course, another point, certain the day on which the moon transits the Dvadashamsha Rashi of the sum of the longitudes of the ascendant and the moon. Month when the sun transits the sign signified by the sum of the longitudes of sun and moon, that indicates the month. The year when Jupiter transits the sign obtained by adding the longitudes of the ascendant, moon and Jupiter. And the exact Rashi by adding the longitudes of ascendant, the sun, the moon and Gulika. If sexual union takes place under the above conditions, pregnancy result in the birth of a child. So, for example, for the above, you think if you work out an example, the year indicates, therefore the year of indication to get a child, that is year is indicated by adding the longitude of Lagna, Moon and Jupiter. Let it be A. Then for the month, to calculate the month, take the longitudes of Sun and Moon. That will be total sum of the longitudes of Sun and Moon, that let it be B. For the day, Lagna plus Moon, let it be C. Then Dvadashamsha Rashi of C gives the day. Then time, Lagna plus Moon plus Sun plus Gulika, that gives the time. Then the year Jupiter transits, that is the year indicates when the Jupiter transits the year, that is what we have calculated A, that is Lagna plus Moon plus Jupiter longitudes. Then month when the Sun transits B, that is longitudes of Sun and Moon. The day, that is when the Moon transits the Dvadashamsha Rashi of longitude of Lagna plus Moon. Then the time, and D is Lagna plus Sun plus Moon plus Gulika, the appropriate time for sexual union. And this actually takes place, then he will have the birth of a child. And of course, when the breath passes through the left nostril and the ascendant is in the sun's fora, breath traverses through the right nostril and the ascendant is in the moon's fora, and Arudha Lagna is even and the ascendant is odd, third lord, the lord of the fifth in the birth chart and the lord of the fifth from Aruda in Prashna chart are the same, or the two lords are closely connected, or tree governed by the asterism in which Jupiter stands at the time of query is bearing fruit, that is indicates the birth of a child. I think this has been already explained. These are certain points which you can say or can conclude that there will be birth of a child with this combination. Of course, there is one more point what we have to calculate, that is depending on the Ashtaka Varga, Santhana Tithi, those things. In case of Ashtaka Varga, in the Ashtaka Varga of Sun, the Moon and Jupiter, in the horoscope of the couple, not the sign in Prashna chart, which should be a trinal place from Gudika, which are the largest number of bindus. When the Sun, Moon, Jupiter transits such a sign, birth of child will take place. That is the thing indicated as per the Ashtaka Varga. Of course, some more points are there, and I hope this will bore you. If I continue for long, you may get confusion. So, I will give the other details regarding Santana Tithi and application of that, calculation of that and application of that in the next class. If you got any out of these things what we have discussed here, now if you got any doubts, any clarifications, you can ask me over phone or through WhatsApp, and also you can send your comments whether it is good to have this type of class or this type of sending WhatsApp messages of the subject, or is it interesting, or is it useful, or is it not, so that we can continue or take action to discontinue these things. Okay, thank you.